Did you know that thousands of Californians have retired in luxury on the beach in San Felipe, Baja California? Did you know that the future of green technology is happening now on the beach in Baja California? That you can own a beautiful sea view home for a fraction of what it would cost in the US? Did you know that the cost of living is 1/4 the cost of what it is here? Discover Rancho Costa Verde, an amazing cutting-edge green community on the beach at prices you haven't seen in your lifetime. Not a lease, not a timeshare, full ownership home sites with 180-degree sea views starting at only $22,500, with terms and financing that make it affordable for almost anyone. To receive additional information and learn how you can visit the property, call 1-800-211-7400. 1-800-211-7400.
Getting salty with Sandie Dee here at the beach, sand on my feet. No place that I would rather be. Getting salty with Sandie Dee.
Hello and welcome to Getting Salty with Sandie Dee. I've missed you guys. Thank you for watching. If you let me know if you're in the comments, let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from, and if you like surfing or if you ever tried surfing. We want to hear what your experience has been if you ever tried surfing. Tonight I have some amazing surfers. They've been surfing their whole lives. So let me bring them up. Oh, hi everybody. Okay, so let me bring them up. We're gonna talk about surfing. Here we go. Hello.
Hey Sandy, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks. What happened to Frank? Frank's camera went out.
Uh-oh. We can't do this without Frank.
Frank, your screen is out. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so I know you travel a lot too. Have you been able to get some surfing in with your travels?
Yeah, I've been I surfed on Sunday right before we had the hurricane or the tropical storm come through. So pretty fun waves, yeah.
Where?
Oh, I can't tell you that. No, it's only there were only 100 guys out, so it's a secret spot. But Frank knows. Ask Frank.
Well, I know this storm never hit. It never hit San Diego, and I was like all the hype. My phone was beeping. I was like running errands. My phone was getting all these warnings, and it was crazy how much awareness and communication was going on about the storm that never really hit us. But and that's why tonight's episode, I put there should be some links if anyone for what happened in Maui. I know you've been to Maui, and it's so devastating what happened over there. So I put a couple links. If anyone tonight's episode, if anyone wants to help, there's a couple really good places you could donate to help the victims of the fire in Maui and Lahaina. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Frank's here. Frank, what happened to your camera? Hello, Frank.
I was backstage. I couldn't hear you. Nothing. So here I am.
Hey, Mono.
Hey.
Okay, and we have, so you guys grew up together, and hold on, we have Nate Sintas is back. So let me bring him up. Hello. Well, everybody welcome Stuart and Nate. And we're waiting for Joey. There's one more. Joey's coming.
Yeah, sorry, I just found out I could hang out with you guys for about 20-30 minutes, okay?
Awesome.
All right.
Nate,
Okay, awesome.
I haven't seen you in like, I don't know how many years, probably, gosh, maybe one time after high school or something like that, you know?
Yeah, probably 30.
Yeah, for sure. But
well, it's 9:10 a.m. here on Thursday.
okay.
Yeah, Thursday.
Cool.
Anyhow, so what's up?
Not much.
You guys still surf?
Yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, I don't surf with Frank as much just because he always hits it from what, 3:30 to 4:30, you know, most days, I guess after work, and I'm hitting it at other times and stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I've kind of lost interest, and Bali, there's been a huge influx of surfers. It's funny. I don't know if you guys feel it as much as we do, but it seems like everybody went surfing during COVID when they didn't have to work. And it's become like my home base here. I have this gorgeous villa in Uluwatu that I can never give up. But it's like a home base now. Like I'm traveling in other places in Indonesia to surf instead of Uluwatu, which is a 10-minute walk from my front door, you know? So I don't know. I don't want to sound negative. I'm stoked for people. Actually, I have a much better attitude about surfing and all, but at the end of the day, I think there's just too many surfers and not enough waves these days, you know what I mean?
But hasn't it always been that way? Like even back in our days in high school, it was too crowded, right? You know, if you saw two guys surfing any place at the cliff, say, you knew not to go there, go some other place. And if you tried to paddle out, you'd probably get yelled at, right? Like, why are you coming out here? Go to some place where there's no one.
Yeah. Well, I think there was this big influx.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to mention some of that tonight. I wanted to talk about like how you guys all met. Like, did you guys meet through surfing or met in school? And then, what was that like when you guys grew up? Like,
I could tell you
territorial.
how we
like, was there surfing wars?
Yeah.
Stuart was introduced to Nate through me.
Yeah.
And you know, and Nate was introduced to me through a mutual friend that we each surfed with. Kirk did that, and Nate and I started high school together in the 9th grade, and we were introduced by a friend, but we met in PE class and started talking about surfing, and then we figured out that you know, we had a mutual friend, Kirk, who had talked to us independently about it, and then we all started hanging out together and surfing together. Stuart, on the other hand, we met in French class, and it was kind of odd, you know, French in high school. Stuart was in 10th grade. I was in 9th grade. But we were just talking. I didn't know he surfed. He didn't know that I surfed until a friend of ours, Dave Hauk, walked in the class to give a message. And I said hi to him. And Stuart says, well, how do you know him? I know him. And I said, I surf with him. He goes, you surf? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, so do I. So that's how we started. And then Stuart said, well, I grew up surfing in Hawaii. And now I'm back here in San Diego. We should start surfing together. So, and then through that affiliation, Nate and we were always looking for someone that was a little older than us that could actually drive. So
yeah, that was That's
Stuart
a
had a
key
license
there.
in
Like
the car.
I think at 15 and a half, I inherited my grandfather's car. And so then suddenly I was very popular. Like, hey, let's go surfing, Stuart, right?
Yeah. Well, so Stuart used to show up, at my house, my parents' house, and knock on the window at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And we would go, and I was used to waking up all my friends real early in the morning, and we'd take off and go surf. And probably one of the first trips we did, Nate, where did we went to Trestles, right? You, me, and Stuart. We went on a road trip to Trestles.
Did we?
And,
We were such kooks back then. But I remember that there was a yearning you guys had that I had, that we wanted to charge waves. We wanted to be challenged. We weren't just kooks that wanted whitewater. I remember, and that's why I was attracted to surfing with you guys, because even though Kirk was showing us photos of Rex and Mark at Big Rock saying it was him, we still knew that the Huffmans kind of charged hard, and we wanted to be, in that group. So we kind of switched off La Jolla and Sunset Cliffs. But did we go to Trestles?
Yeah, we did a Trestles trip, but
I don't even remember surfing that much, really.
But if you talk, well, I'll refresh your memory on one of our first.
Okay.
Well, we were Mission. I was Mission Hills, so we would go to La Jolla, and then we would go to Coronado, and we would go to the cliffs and surf with you guys. But if you remember that one day, where I spent the night at your house, we walked down early in the morning, and it was super high tide, and it was giant.
We almost died.
Yes, and you said we're 15 years old.
We almost
and you
died.
said, you're like, it's bigger than it looks. And we dove off the cliff to get into the water because it was super high tide.
We jumped off the top of the cliff. It's like 10 feet above the beach, just like a 7.2 high tide or something.
But it was breaking, and usually the cliffs only breaks on the low tide, but it was like a 7-point high tide. We jumped off, we paddled all the way out there. We each got like maybe one wave, and then we got washed all the way back into the cliffs. And we're like, we can't make it up the cliff because the water was super high. So we paddled around to Garbage, and we waited there. And then the sets came, and we were looking at like 15-foot walls of water coming right at us. And we got washed out and slammed up against the cliffs, washed out in there, held underwater, doing helicopters at the backwash underwater. And I still remember to this day looking at Nate. He came up for air after being held down forever. And I see Nate's face, and he goes, "We're gonna die!" And then we both got sucked underwater again. We watched other guys get, and then we came up, and then in between sets, all the water sucked out, and there we are. Karma got us because we saw some guy's board that he lost.
Karma totally nailed us.
Walked into some crevice. We started laughing at it, and the next thing you know, it's round two with the waves
pointing like,
killing us.
Oh my god!
And then
I think I got
the
one
next step, we're like,
Jane,
I'm not waiting around for this to happen again. So we beelined it in between sets, and we scaled a muddy cliff. I don't know how we made it up that cliff because it was pure mud, and because it was so slippery straight up. We watched some other guys in the distance get rescued by lifeguards. We saw all kinds of boards washed in that day. So we went home. We fixed our boards at Nate's house, and we came back for low tide and paddled back out later that afternoon. But you could tell me your remembrance of that, but that's what happened.
No, that's almost like exactly how I remember it. But I think I only caught one wave, and ended up in sub-channel from Ab. Like, it must have been the longest left of my life.
Yeah.
And we agreed that no, it's out of control. And Karma, I was the culprit because we were just sitting there like rock stars on the beach, dry sand, pointing at that kook's board going, let's just watch it. It was like in a can opener, it was going to snap, right?
Yeah.
Next thing we're doing cartwheels underwater with sand in every orifice. Oh my God.
Yeah, we got worked. But
that was like one of my best memories.
That's called the washing machine.
that in one day at Little Point. Oh my God!
You
I
went
don't
through
know
the
if you remember.
washing machine.
Oh, total washing machine. It was like,
Well,
I
what
think
it
we
was
just let our boards go after a while. We just
yeah,
we were trying to save our lives.
it was 15-foot walls of waves coming right up against the cliff, and they would hit the cliff, and we were sitting there floating, and they would hit the backwash was hitting the waves coming in, and we were getting flown up in the air, and it was making us do cartwheels underwater, and it was the oddest thing in the world. Lucky we were in
We're
good
so
shape.
lucky we
15.
survived. We could have died. We could have died if we hit our heads on the rocks or anything like that. We could have died for sure.
Well, lucky we were in good shape. I wouldn't want to do that right now. But
how old do you think we were?
we were
14?
15. We were in ninth grade. Ninth grade, we were 15-year-olds. Yeah.
That's before I had my white pinto.
You had your white round tail. Yep.
Oh my God! No,
Cosmos. We have a disclaimer. Cosmos does not recommend recreating this event. Don't try this at home, kids.
Not in your 60s. 15, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, we knew there was a high tide, but I think it had to be a building tide, building swell, because it went from, we actually had a beach for about 10, 15 minutes, I think. And then there was no more beach.
No.
It
went from standing on a little area, a little portion of the cliff. It's still there. And then to completely way overhead water and just victory at sea. Wild. And then in between sets, all the water would suck out. And that's when we finally decided to make a run for it. And the only place to go up was straight up the cliff.
Stuart, have you had some heavy experiences like that? I imagine you have.
Well, haven't we all? Yeah. I mean, but I'm thinking I surfed with Frank. He introduced me to the cliffs, and I just had never seen waves that glassy before. Like a wave would break and there would be like this bow wake afterwards, and it was just really cool to surf there. And then I remember one day after high school, we went to check out No Surf, and Nate, you were out there. I hadn't met you yet. And like, we're watching you paddling out, and maybe it was because after this event,
I remember this.
And it's like, it's pretty good sized No Surf. And it's like, what is he doing? He's like not paddling out, and like he's just staying in the same place, and every wave he would like pop up in the same place and everything like that. And it was like, wow, what's he going? And then like finally you come in. I don't know, we didn't go out, but you came in and like, Nate, what were you doing? He says, I was just training. I'm trying to like get in better shape, and just like be able to get through waves like that or whatever.
He was trying to stay in the same place.
Yeah,
exactly what he said he was doing.
Really?
Good. Well, that's what you were doing. But actually, that little thing was that we went through, Nate, was foreshadowing for later on when some guy was drowning and he was holding on to a lobster buoy, and Stuart and I were going to paddle out, and it was another huge day, but it was low tide. It was all ripped out everywhere. And guys came running up to us in the parking lot, and they were saying, hey, do you want to save somebody? You got to come save this guy. So we went down to save this guy that decided to go swimming in the middle of the afternoon, naked, we found out. And he was holding on to a lobster buoy way outside the sub. And Stuart paddled out there with these other guys, and they went to bring him in, and it took forever. And Stuart, you could tell the story because you got out to him first.
I'm trying to think, what was he on a board or
no?
What? I think he was.
You put him on a board, and there was
gave him his board, and another guy was
guys.
swimming. Yeah, and we're pushing this guy in through like pretty big side surf, hoping that he'll just hang on to the board and not get swept out into a rip again.
He was
or something
spent.
Like that.
He had no energy at all.
Yeah. And he washed in on the
They're
beach.
so dangerous when they're drowning. If you don't have a flotation device for them. I remember the first Japanese guy, it was like, we called it 14-foot makaha. The biggest surf I think I've ever surfed in my life. You couldn't film it with the tripod because the beach would shake when the sets broke. It'd shake the camera. And these two Japanese guys, man, one of them snapped his cord. They were on like 6-foot boards, out of their league. And he was just scrambling to grab hold of me and ride me as his life raft. It could be so dangerous like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
This
No,
guy was completely spent, had
I
no
never had to
energy,
touch him.
nothing. And when Stuart looked at him, he didn't say anything, but the guy, I remember Stuart telling me, he's like, what did the guy say to you? He said, I know. What did he say? He said something like, I only eat lobster and drink beer, and I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
And he couldn't
honestly.
believe it.
Naked.
And
Yeah,
then
I don't know.
it was funny because after we
Naked.
all got him to the beach, the Coast Guard
Was
showed up,
this
the
in the
lifeguard
70s?
showed up.
This was in the 70s?
It was in this. We were in high school still. I think it was right
Yeah, 'cause
around.
I graduated 80. We
Yeah.
graduated 80.
Yeah.
And
So
Wow.
Late 70s.
it was
Yes.
late 70s.
That
78.
was a crazy time
Yeah.
to be a kid, man.
Yeah,
Especially
for sure.
graduating high school, 1980, in the height of like cocaine and partying and surfers, and oh my god, it was so crazy. Like,
Well,
it's a crazy time.
it was a little bit of a different environment those days, you know,
Yeah.
with every
But
local
I
spot.
feel like Stuart, when we were talking, like I feel like there was a big influx of surfers just before the 80s that, like, I remember 20 guys out at Newbreak, and then you go into the late 90s and there was like 12 guys out at Newbreak. It almost had, there was a wave, like a Gidget wave, where something really stimulated surfing then. Remember that?
No, I mean, I remember it, like, I'll tell you what, I can remember, like, I had never surfed Pink House with anybody until like 2000. That was
So
our go-to, go get away from anyone, you know?
Yeah.
Frank and I would just go down there, and then like one day, like someone was paddling out, and like, wow, we had it for what, 25 years, you know, something like that.
It's the hardest wave to check from the beach. You can't even see it because it's below sea level. Yeah.
Right. And now they, you know, all of downstream is no longer
No,
safe.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's too crowded these days. I think you've got
It's
a crew
less
that
crowded.
nobody's
Like,
out down there.
has a dog patrol crew, but then you could get mid-morning sessions with 8 guys out on a medium tide. It's crazy. But what's funny is I have friends that have cut off college kids there, and the kids have asked, "Are you Nate Sintas?" Because
got a little bit of a reputation there.
I'm like 8,500 miles away, and they're like, "Nate, I got a story for you." They still are afraid that you're in the water at Newbreak. I'm like, oh my god, that's the funniest thing.
Your name's in all the social media chat rooms.
Really?
Watch out for Nate.
That. Some
Nate's
bad ones,
out
like
there.
Napoleon Complex, and some real bashing, huh? After the San Diego Magazine article, there was a lot of bashing, but it's all right. You know, it's my business, and really, Bali just led me to completely turn my surfing perspective. And Indonesia in general, it's just not cool to be violent here. It's not okay. And it's against their religion. And in this place, they live in love instead of fear. And I think fear is what drove me to be a heavy local. The insecurity that someday I'm not going to be the man here, or it's going to be so crowded I won't get waves. And at the end of the day, I think all of us could just have let our surfing do the talking and not even really hassle people. But you know what? I think maybe that's my age and wisdom talking too, because really we were a kook. We were kooks when we started surfing, and before we die, we're going to be kooks in the water again.
It's heading in that direction.
Right.
If you can't get up to your feet, you're a kook again.
No, it's just, it gets harder every year, right? Like, and I'm hanging on to what I once was able to do, you know, and I'll just keep, you know, holding on until you have to pry it away from my cold, stiff fingers, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that's the obsession, is that it's more, people in Kansas don't dress like rock climbers. They wear Quicksilver. And honestly, at the end of the day, there's something
Mariah
something
she
really
loves
cool about it.
And
Like,
she spelled it with a C.
Well, we've always set the trends, but there's also something really spiritual about it. I walked down at 6 a.m. through the Monkey Cave at Padang Beach, and I arrive on a a sandy beach with no footprints, looking at the volcanoes as the sun rises, and it's like the waves are just icing on the cake. It's something spiritual, and it's where we find peace, and I think that's something
Wouldn't that mellow anyone out, right?
Well, the obsession part is like making your dentist appointments according to the tides, picking your girlfriend because she accepts you for not going to Thanksgiving because the surf was good. Like everything, once you become a hardcore surfer, I think everything is surrounded by surfing, and it's a little bit selfish, and even the cars you buy, everything has to do with, does my board fit here or whatever?
Right.
Well, I mean, you moved to Indonesia, probably had something to do with surf. My office is in La Jolla now. It had something to do with surf.
Heck yeah.
My schedule does. So it does. And it used to get us in a lot of trouble with, people associated with us, like our parents and girlfriends or whatever. We just decided to take off to Mexico and go surf down there. We'd be late coming back home. We'd have to buy flowers, make all kinds of excuses of why we were late. Get her Joey's on right now.
Can you guys hear me?
Because
we were talking about the obsession of surfing, Joey, and how we surround our lives with waves and tides and girls that are cool with it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. You guys can hear me okay and see me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bunch of kooks.
Yeah. Did TJ paint that thing behind you?
I was listening to you a little bit, Merlin, and you're on point there, because we all of us do share a common thread in the fact that we've fallen in love with the ocean, fallen in love with surfing. And it really, it feeds our mind, body, and spirit like nothing else. I mean, I love my fiance and my family and my dogs and everything. But I tell you what, man, some of the very best times in my life are surfing with my bros out there, and Frank and Stuart and you. It's funny. All of us have gotten some great surf together and some amazing times, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, no doubt. I just think that, like, coming from the Mentawais with my son, and we shot this little documentary. I don't know if I shared it with you guys, but it's called 6131. Because I mean, how many people can hang out with their son at 31 years old? And I was 61, and it's the first time I introduced him to the Mentawais, and I was the kook, But honestly, it was so cool. Like once a while.
When haven't you been?
You don't have to be saving lives to be a waterman. What?
I'm just teasing.
Nah, I'm serious.
But no, you know what? If you don't mind me interrupting, that was incredible. That you and your son were there, and that you and your son have surfed Padang, and you guys have such an amazing dynamic relationship. Both rippers. I mean, it's in the DNA. It is just in the DNA. And it's
awesome. Thank you. Yeah, he's it's cool that he's here for 2 more months right now. So of course he came in at 3 because he hangs out with all the surfers, and he was with Rob Machado's daughter last night. But I mean, that's just his life here. It's just it's like an adult Disneyland for surfers, for sure.
Yeah.
So
great.
Frank and Sandy, it's pretty cool because Frank and Sandy both surf, and their kids are attuned to the beach, to the pool, to all that. I mean, that's an incredible dynamic, I think. And
how many kids do you guys have?
About 20.
I got 5.
You have 5? Oh my gosh!
I didn't hear that question.
Yeah, I got 2 sons and a son from each wife, 2 ex-wives that are awesome. But I don't think God would give me a daughter. She'd probably never get a date between me and my sons,
Hey, you know what? Nate, remember you had that license plate PL Hui.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Here, let me show you something. You're gonna laugh so hard. We're walking through my yard right now. Look at my board shed.
Oh, look at the beautiful sky.
There it
That's
is.
beautiful.
My
Wow.
bamboo
Gorgeous.
shed. Yeah.
There it is.
Here's the
Wow.
day. My orchids.
Live and direct from Bali,
Wow.
guys. Nate's in Bali.
Yeah, here's my
Wow.
front door. I'm the beach marshal at Padang Padang. Over, but look at my pool.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's a blessing.
And that's
but
like a
you gotta
world-class surf spot right there.
We're gonna have a barbecue this afternoon. I ordered 2
In
kilos.
your secret spot.
Yeah, it's funny though. It's not the dream come true anymore. As my friends would attest, like Dave Sims, Joey, you know him from the Jetty.
Yep.
He's leaving on Friday, and he goes, "I doubt I'll spend more than a week ever again in Bali." And it's funny because once they open the borders, they're just swarmed with people. But I've been grandfathered in for 8 years, and my rent here is $580 a month, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, garden, pool, everything. And I've been offered $3,500 a month for people to rent my property. Most people are paying huge money
I think
here.
Mariah and Brittany are watching. You ladies want to go visit Nate in Bali, Indonesia? We have some ladies, and they're my girlfriends that are watching.
I
So,
see Mariah.
okay.
I see Mariah's comment.
I sent some girls training.
Be careful because I had a hard morning. My ex said that she's found a new guy, so I am 100% single.
Goodness gracious.
Okay, all right. Now, okay, you guys. Woo, woo.
No,
It's out.
yeah,
It's out.
thank you, but really, it's
Gonna be a
a
girl trip.
blessing.
I see a girl trip coming.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun. Everybody has a blast here. We were with friends yesterday looking for a wedding spot, a wedding venue. So anyhow, and you guys are always welcome here.
I would hope so. Maybe we'll bring some
nice.
extra.
Oh, Frank, you hear that?
We'll bring our own
Can we
crowd.
bring all our
Nate.
kids?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. They love the pool, but I don't know if I'd love you for it because normally just give me notice and I'll make sure I have my extra bedroom available. Once in a while, I'll rent it or I'll have my sons here. So it's just a heads up, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, Nate, we haven't had much surf here at all. It's been kind of a bummer, and I have a new board. Maybe I cursed it. I cursed everything by having a new board.
All right, just come up to La Jolla tomorrow and we'll find surf.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
Easy
here
as that.
it's a joke. This time of year today, it's probably double overhead on the sets. It was howling offshore at 6 a.m. and about 80-degree water, about 90-degree air midday in the sun. So yeah, it's crazy, and it's like this for 8 months. So you just don't even care if you miss surf one day, you know.
Yeah. Well, I feel pretty blessed. I just got back from a mainland Mex trip down in Sinaloa, a left point break. I was riding just the first few days were pretty small, and then it lit up. It was on fire, and I was just getting long rides, just a sacred trip. I've been going there about 11 or 12 years in a row, and it's just been so good. And there's about 10 to 14 of us, and we have the point all to ourselves, and it's absolutely incredible. So I'm super stoked about that.
How about you, Stuart and Frank? You guys get down to Mex and do trips down there much?
I get down on the not as much as we used to. Joey and I used to go to Cabo once or twice a year, Hawaii. But we used to do a lot of camping in Mexico, and we used to live and die on the dirt roads down there. Joey and I have a dirt road story.
We sure do.
When we were in Cabo, we headed up the coast, and we were looking for surf, and we were hanging out with at a taco stand, and we were asking a guy, "Hey, we're trying to find the surf spot here." So Joey, you could tell. You go ahead. You tell him the dirt road story.
Was it the
So-
Washburn Road out to the East Cape?
No,
No,
it was
up the west
actually
side.
it was up around either Cerritos or Pescadero
Yeah,
or somewhere
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And
Thinking
anyways,
of going to Cerritos in January, actually. Yeah.
nice. Well, so
That's
I was
fun.
speaking the sort of Spanglish, and
Yeah.
we asked this guy, well, hey, you know, there's this dirt road. I seem to remember it. He's all, the dirt road? I'll show you the dirt road. And he's all grabbing his goods. And Frank and I look at each other like, what the hell? Fuck that. And it was so damn funny. And he's all, I show you the dirt road. It's 5 minutes away. And he's
It's
putting his
only 5 minutes from here.
5-finger grab on the goods. And
Oh
Frank
my
and I,
God.
we look at each other. Well, no, that's okay. We'll find the dirt road on our own.
It was funny because as we were driving back to Cabo, at the same time as we were driving, we both looked at each other and we imitated him, and we said, I know this dirt road and I can show you where it is. And we just acted at the same time. We just did that. And then we haven't stopped talking about the dirt road
You
guy.
guys,
The dirt road lives forever.
Oh, I know how you
I-
hold those memories close, and it just seems back.
I
to
didn't know that the dirt road was going to be my destiny forever, and it is. But that's
It
a topic
is.
for another day. But I do still live and die by the dirt road in Mexico, and that's my life, actually.
Should I tell the Lisa story?
Yes, you should, because it was the same thing. It was the same day we got back,
So-
and we were just talking about how us being late. You know, there were no cell phones in those days, so you had to be where you were going to be, where you say you were going to be, and make a call somehow. We were staying at Resort Club Cascadas, and when we got back there, Joey had a message waiting for him.
Boy, did
Oh
I.
no, from Lisa.
Yep, my old girlfriend Lisa.
Cousin Speedy, he knows where the cheese is.
Right? So,
Lisa.
so what
Who's Lisa?
happened is this is a while back. Frank and I, we would always travel out on surf trips all the time. And which that could lead into trying to jump the ditch in the rental Volkswagen also.
Yes.
Oh my
But
God.
anyways, we were late getting back because, you know, we're surfing. We're down there on a surf trip.
We were with the dirt road guy.
That's right. The dirt road guy, you know, he gave us some screwed up directions, so it messed us up. So anyways, long story made short is I guess she was calling Club Cascadas. By the way, we stayed in the Perla room, which we had our own pool, our own jacuzzi, second level, looking out over freaking Sea Cortez and Cabo or where the moorings are. It's incredible. So Lisa calls and she just tears into this guy, the guy on the phone at Club Cascadas. Where is he? Where are they? I want to know where they're at. And anyways, long story made short is Frank and I, we're working our way back to the place. Well, Lisa's grandma, who never surfed, she says there's no way any guys would ever travel to surf. They're down there with some girls. And so
Oh no.
Lisa was absolutely going psycho over this whole thing. And, you know,
Well, the guy handed you the message. He
Yeah.
actually dictated. He took notes, and he handed it to Joey. And Joey looked at him and he goes, "Hey, man, don't get mad at me. I just handed you the message." And he goes, "I hope she's good looking."
and that leads into
Remember
the
that?
next
I
part.
hope she's good looking. And then
Oh
Joey
my
told
God.
her the story, and she says, "Well, did you tell him I was?"
That's right. She said that she was more concerned that I told her that told the guy that she was good looking. And I said,
Oh,
no, I didn't. It's like she threw gasoline on my fire. I mean, we're down there surfing. I really
Right.
didn't need to meet anybody. We're having a great time. And here
Yeah.
she was all bent out of shape. I'm laughing my ass off, you know?
Right.
So Sucks
Hey,
to be
well,
missed.
guys, I think we're gonna have to do a part 2 or something with this, and I don't mind doing it. I really have to run, and I'm sorry to cut you short. Love the
Okay.
stories. I could go on for 3 hours for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
full on, because we all have so many surf stories, and
Yeah,
Stuart and
yeah.
Frank and I have surfed Kauai. I mean,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
surfed
Nate,
all over the damn place.
Nate, next week we're gonna do part 2 because I knew there's no way we could jam your guys' low race in an hour.
Yeah.
So next week
But I
we'll do
mean-
part 2, Nate. If you're available, let's do it.
But
Let's do it.
Sandy, I have
Also-
a girlfriend that interviews some of the top pros for Fuel TV and stuff like that, and I was giving her a list of questions. I go, what these guys and I would want to be asked, and they never asked them. Like Slater, what was the most scared you've ever been in the water, hypothetically? And you might want to bounce some of those questions off us. Like, when did you think it was over? That day that you thought, okay, this is it. I'm not going to kiss the sand again, or whatever. And we probably will stimulate a lot of thoughts from those questions, And it just bouncing ideas off of you. But I would love to do that with you if you want to. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Totally.
Oh yeah.
It's not
I'm
even
all about.
close to
I'm
being
networking
over,
all the time.
surf-wise.
So I'm always networking. Knows. Nate, did you know that these two guys were in our wedding? And I don't know if you know, but Frank had a really bad surfing accident at Hoya a couple years ago, right? Like the day before Halloween, the whole side of his face, he's got a scar now. I don't know if he told you.
No,
No, I didn't tell me.
You told me?
No, I didn't tell you about it. No.
Yeah, no, I haven't even heard about that. Yeah.
It wasn't
Well,
that
we can
bad.
go on and on about. I've had 13 major surgeries, and it's not comparing notes per se, but I think we've all had a lot of stitches here or there from surfing, and it's
I
pretty
got
gnarly.
titanium plate.
Yeah. So where's yours, Frank? Where's the scar?
What happened was just high tide was coming up. Wave came up on the reef, and it sucked dry, and there was no place to go. I actually belly boarded the wave, and tucked into the barrel, and I went over, did like the El Rolo, and when I landed, I'm like, good, I didn't hit the reef, and then bam, my head hit the reef, my rail of my board hit the reef, and it was I got shredded.
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay, guys. Then Sandy, hit me up.
He had to drive himself to get stitches because I was home with the little kids.
All right, Nate, you got to go, but we'll pick this up next time with you. It was good seeing you.
100%. Thank you.
We
Love
got a
you
lot
guys.
of stories, Nate.
Peace.
Peace,
See
bro.
you.
Thank you for coming. I'm so glad you can make it. Thank you so much.
That was great.
We got to have him back on. We got to do this again next week, guys. I knew time was going to go fast.
Absolutely.
There's so many
There's
stories.
so many stories. Frank was there when I got slammed, when my fin went through my ankle.
Yeah.
And that was another Lisa story, too.
Actually, I've never seen so much blood.
That's true. Well, are we going to wrap it up, or should we keep talking, or wait till
We've got a little more time, I think, don't we? Or do we need to go?
We got time. Yeah, I have a story too. I have a little scar right here, but I got lucky because it didn't affect the bone. But those new leashes, when you get the new leash, it hasn't stretched out yet. So a new leash on it was a small day, but a new leash, my board. The rails came whacked me in the face. Oh my God, it broke the skin. It was swollen. I was doing the bags of frozen peas on my face for days, but luckily it didn't fracture the bone because I do have a friend. I have one of my friends, the same thing happened. It actually smashed the bone, and she had to have like a metal plate put in there to keep her eye in the socket. Like, Jesus, like there's so many stories. I got lucky, but I know that feeling. Like, it's crazy. Frank has a seaweed story too. Seaweed.
Well, yeah. On that, I did get stitches, and when I went to get I took my stitches out myself, but I had another doctor's appointment, and the doctor was, picking around in there, and she said, "Oh, you missed one of the stitches," And I said, oh, and so she pulled out. She says, oh, this isn't stitches. This is something from the sea. She pulled out a piece of seaweed from my scar on my head. So that was kind of funny.
It's like pulling sand out of your ears, you know?
Yes.
See.
It was funny because skin was healing over that. Your skin was going to heal and absorb that seaweed.
Talk about Stuart and the guava. the gill and the guavita.
Yes.
What's the guava?
That's because it was funny. We were in Kauai, and Joey went out. Stuart and I were still on the beach. We were on the beach for some reason. We came in earlier or something. And Joey had to walk over sea urchin infested sharp coral reef for like, I don't know, 50 yards. And we're sitting there watching him come in. And then, I don't know, you tell the guavita story. After he got in on the beach, there was a guava story.
So I was pissed. Let me tell you real quick before he gets into it. So I was pissed off because I missed the keyway to get in. So
yeah, there's a little deep spot between the reef, and he missed it.
So there's overhead waves coming through, and I'm standing on water that's only shin high, and or standing on reef, and I look down, and there's purple spots everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my God! I'm throwing my arms up in the air, like, where do I go? And it's like you guys are throwing your arms up too. It's like it was terrible. I was pretty frustrated. So then Stuart.
Was it jellyfish?
No, it was Vana. It was a sea urchin.
Are you muted, Stuart? Are you muted? We can't hear you.
Oh.
Can't hear Gilman.
Well, he might be frozen, or am I frozen? Hold on. Oh, there you. Oh, it might be freezing on my end.
No,
I love that California license plate. That's cool.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? I had it on my van, and I was gonna have it so it said "split" on the top of it, but somebody would steal it, so now it's up on the wall.
That's really cool.
Stuart, I can't hear you.
You're muted, Stuart. You gotta unmute yourself.
Stuart, no, he's not muted.
Well, he's muted on his end.
Hold on.
Can you hear? I can't hear you, Gil.
He can't tell his guava story. You're going to have to tell the guava story, Joey.
So I'm throwing my arms up in the air. Stuart, if you can hear me, nod your head.
He's like the silent movie.
It's Charlie.
He's frozen on my end. He keeps freezing, and it moves, and then he's frozen. So he could always just, if you want, try to leave and come right back. Just leave and come right back. I'll bring you right back. Yeah, but he keeps freezing on my end. I don't know if you guys could see that. Yeah.
No,
yeah. Sometimes you go out and come back in, it like refreshes it.
He's in the channel.
Yeah, you guys haven't talked to Nate in a while,
huh? Can't hear him.
No, it's been a little while. Great, it's great to hear from him. Nate just did get
that's so cool. I can't believe you guys have known each other for so long.
Yep, a long time. You know, the mental-wise, he was at Lance's right, and it was giant. I mean, I've been there before. I surfed it pretty huge, but it was like 3 times the size. It was just about unrideable. It was so big. And his son, Nate charges. He is a good surfer. So I think it's pretty cool. Father and son were there. Good stuff.
Well, back to the
he's got 2 sons. They both surf.
He does. No, just one of them does. I'm gonna go grab my newest board real quick just to show it off. I'll be right back.
Okay, show us your fancy board. We want to see the board over there. Here's Stuart. Okay, let's see if Stuart's back.
Hey,
can you hear us, Stuart?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what
Okay.
the deal is.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, you freezing on my
reset.
end.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna go show them my board.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go
Plus,
get
we
my
have kids
board.
home on the internet.
I've got a surfboard too, you know.
Ooh.
It's a twin fin.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, those are
It's
different fins.
got a double concave. It was designed and built by George Gall, and he is just he's the wizard of hydrodynamics. The
Yeah,
rails,
for sure.
the rails are hard the whole way up and to the nose all the way through. It's just it's a machine. And I got this. This is going to be my summer board for when it's a little smaller. But Frank has a board like it, and it's too fast for some of the barreling waves and the reefs in La Jolla. Amazing.
Hey,
How
I
many
saw
feet is that board?
George.
This is it's 7'7", so it's almost like a little mini longboard in a way.
7'7".
It's a machine, that's for
Yeah, it's a
sure.
mini longboard.
Midi twinny, they call them.
But it's a twin.
It's a twin fin.
Mini twinny, okay.
The boards turn really well, and they're fast.
Wow.
So they paddle really well. It's good for our age. We grew up surfing fishes like the one that Stuart's got right there, so they kind of ride like the boards we started riding in the 70s. And learned on and got to be pretty good on. And they remind us of riding those boards. So because they're fast, they go rail to rail, and they turn pretty fast too. And you can put them in certain places in the wave, they just take off.
And those boards
so
that you're riding, those eggs are, that's what we rode as well in the late 70s and 80s, were those 7 or 8 foot eggs, but they were single fins. And now it makes sense to put concaves on them, put twin fins on them, and they probably loosen them all up. I ran into George at the supermarket like just last week, and like I guess he's not like, is he kind of semi-retired now or something? But he says he would make me a board, so I think I need to go see him.
He's shaping like mad.
Okay.
He's
George, guy that shapes our boards.
Well.
Okay. And I don't know.
It's
There's
freezing
too many
on my
boards.
end. I can't hear. Who's the shaper?
George Gall. George Gall of G Star Custom. He also shapes for Plus One. But
Plus One. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have a Tim Bassell. I got to meet Tim and watch him shape my. He shaped me like a kind of like an egg, custom egg.
Yeah.
Tim has made boards for Frank and I, and you, Stuart.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. I've some of my best boards were Bassells.
For sure.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, we need to keep talking because Sandie's freezing.
Yeah, Tim got.
So
I'm actually going to have to log off.
No,
I'm going to have to log off because I have stuff going on and I still have to work. So,
well, we just have a few more minutes before time's up.
Okay.
Actually, we got like
it's almost time's up. But I thank you for coming, everybody. I knew the hour would go so fast. There's a few minutes.
Thanks for.
But we could. I don't think there's a show right after. So.
On the next one, probably.
But everyone's got to go. We got.
Prompt,
kids ready for school tomorrow.
Because we're just ad-libbing here, just kind of talking.
Oh.
I totally agree. We can talk ahead of time, line up a bunch of things we want to talk about, because between the three of us, we've all traveled together a multitude of times, and we have so many great stories.
We've got about almost 50 years of surfing experience. There's a lot of stories there.
Hey, that's 150 years together.
Yeah.
This is true.
There's the mathematician.
All right.
Yep. Well,
show that fish on the way out, Stuart. I want to see. Everyone should see the fish.
Hang on one sec.
It's
Stuart, little
not
fish.
the pescado fish. It's the board fish for
All right, one sec.
non-surfers. Wait till you see
Oh
this
yeah, I
thing.
want to see.
This is the kind of models that we grew up surfing. One of the pictures of Stuart and I were standing when we're like teenagers in Hawaii, nice and tan, with our fishes. And Stuart just shaped this one, I think. So he's still carrying on the
tradition.
The tradition, yes. Where is it, Stuart? Where's the fish?
Yeah, right here. Sorry. I gotta like.
All right, well, there you are. There it is. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, these are classic fishes. I tried to make this like from a list. You know, that's Frank. That's what you always had, and Joey as well. And I have like all the dimensions, and I can scale them. I just can't shape them very well. But
turn it over and let's see the fins on the bottom, and get some light on it.
1 sec.
Okay.
Can you see it? Gosh, it's so dark in my house.
Yeah, it's pitch black, Stuart. Well, that's exciting, Gilvin.
Yeah. Well,
so it's a black colored fish, right?
it's black, and I can't see what I'm doing because
there we go. There we go.
Can you see that fin?
We can see sort of. Okay, well, sort of. You live in a dark house, Stuart. We used to own that house together, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, and I'm not very good filming because, like, how do I make it go down? Let's see here. Can you see?
There we go. All right.
That's my
That's
fin.
a twin fin fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, have you ridden that yet? Joey hasn't even ridden his board.
Yeah. I've surfed it. I haven't surfed it in really good waves, but I'm gonna try and go tomorrow. So, we'll see what tomorrow brings.
All right. Head to La Jolla. Let's paddle out.
Okay.
I think that sounds good.
I got
All right, man. We need to get in the water or tell these stories around.
Stuart. Is that the house that me and Frank almost bought?
No, you didn't want it.
Beautiful.
We did. We would have taken it. It was a buy sell.
I think
if you wanted to sell it, we would have bought it.
I'm glad I have a place to live. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you're there.
It looks really good. Like you fixed it up a lot. It looks really good. I want to come see it in person.
Thanks.
It looks good.
Yeah,
okay.
It looks nice.
Yeah, no, let's get together. We can do
You'll have to invite us over for dinner with the kids.
Or just come over here and you can, we'll sit around and talk story.
That'd be great.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, I got a classic picture.
Let's see the classic picture. Oh God.
Wait, what is it?
See it too well. I think that's Halloween. One of those
Who's
years.
that? I think.
That's Frank and I.
We got those Moscas de Diablo from Mexico.
Look at Frank.
And we're trying to imitate the look.
Joey, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, Joey did a better job than me.
You know, I always try to give it my best. Look at the outfit. You know, that's definitely that was a long time ago. I don't know. Was that?
That's an 80s outfit. Must have been the 80s.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're traveling Mexico in the 80s.
Yeah.
I love those old pictures. Wait, let me see if I could. Some of the ones I was trying to make a video. It didn't happen. My kids had first day back to school today. So it just, wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find the pics. Here we go. Oh, so some great pics that you guys are sending me. If we do a part this week, I'm gonna work on getting a video together. But yeah, this was I made one of these like my background photo today. That's Nate. Can you see it? Wait, hold on. Oh no, you can't see it. That's Nate. It's too far away.
Yeah, Nate's got some.
These were some of the pictures you guys were sending me.
The waves are beautiful there.
Right. So my theory is
I'm gonna put something together. There's some amazing photos in there. I love it.
Yeah. My theory is Frank and I don't have pictures of us surfing because the waves were always too good and neither wanted to stay on the beach and take photos, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that is what happened.
This is one of me in Mexico. God, you can't even see it. There it is. That's at the Point Break I was just at.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Not too shabby.
I was invited to go on that trip, but I declined because I didn't think it was
covered. Dropping it. Covered.
Here's when I'm kneeboarding.
My mom said next time she's here. Oh, so my mom said next time she's here, Frank and I could go hang out with Stuart. She'll watch the kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
We got
all right. Let's do it.
We should have a family. We should have you guys got to come over again. We were gonna do something for your birthday, Frank. We never happened. Never.
I know. Well,
here's a good fish pick.
Still going on.
My birthday's coming up. My birthday. Let's have them over for my birthday.
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
I'll get Mariah and Brittany out here.
I know when your birthday is.
Barbecue.
All right.
It's Monday.
Wow.
Well, we survived the tornado, right? At least we survived the
Yeah.
tornado.
Yeah, I guess Hillary didn't really blow too hard, did she?
Not here.
Offshore.
Well, Pilly was blowing onshore.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
A lot back in the day.
Boy, she would blow the surf out all the time.
Always. It's always windy.
Always.
Inside joke. Anytime Stuart wasn't able to go surf, he would say, it's windy. And it would be perfect. And he'd say, no, it's windy. So he would just say that his ex was blowing onshore. Hurricane.
How could she do that to us?
Always.
I got a story. Oh, I got a story. We got to end it. I got a story. One time I was pregnant and I was like 8 months pregnant, huge. I managed to get into this Volcom wetsuit, like a 3-2. And I went and met my girlfriend and her kids and her husband over there at Beacons. You know Beacons? And the waves were good. And there was a lot of people out. And I went down. I made it down that, huge trail. And that's hard. That's a feat right there when you're pregnant, when you're 8 months pregnant. That's a feat. And then I said I wanted to go just do some swimming, body surfing. I was trying to, stay in shape. And I got sucked in a rip. And I couldn't, I was having a hard time breathing because your breathing gets short when you're pregnant. I got sucked into the rip. I ended up right in the lineup. I thought these guys were going to take off on top of my belly. Oh my God. That was like one of the scariest things. When Nate comes back, I want to tell him that story because that was one of the scariest things in my life because I had no surfboard, so nobody could see that I was pregnant. I looked like a wet seal in the water, and I thought, oh my God, these guys are so aggressive. They're all fighting for the wave, the peak, and someone's gonna run me over, and they don't even know that I'm pregnant.
Yikes!
But eventually, I made it in, and I survived. And I said, okay, it's time to stop surfing now.
Explain the surfing
time to stop body surfing during pregnancy.
Yeah. Well, kids, I'm gonna have to jump off.
Yep, I think we're out of time anyway, right?
Next week. Okay, well,
thanks.
Yeah, we're gonna see you guys. Everybody stay
Absolutely.
tuned for the
to be continued.
Yeah.
The recap of to be TBC to be continued.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you guys. Have a great night.
All righty.
Thank you for coming, you guys.
Cheers.
Getting salty with Sandie Dee here at the beach, sand on my feet. No place that I would rather be. Getting salty with Sandie Dee.